whenever y'all are. What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, what's wrong with you?
Yo, I'm just laughing that hard.
Yo, have you like legit? How much sleep have you had since joining Clubhouse yesterday?
Last night was bad. Last night I didn't go to bed till probably 4:30.
You was in Clubhouse the whole time?
Yeah, that's where I earned my stripes. Like I learned how to get into a group. I learned how to get into a group, speak your shit, get elevated. Like, you know, I also went into a space where spoke my shit, and I was like, yo, make me a what is it called?
A moderator.
Immediate. I just jumped out. I said, yo, make me a moderator. Boom, real quick. From there, I'm here to like just really let you know, like, you know, here I am. It was so much fun, man. You can just see the personalities. They were in one group. This girl, some ghetto joint was in the row. She said, no, I'm going to, she cut this nigga off like, no, I'm going to speak. It's my turn. She spoke about learning to be quiet. Ooh. So this girl said, some girl popped in and was like, sometimes you got to take your own advice, sis. And then she was like, whatever, bitch. And then they kicked the other girl out of the room. It was nuts. I was like, whoa. Because trust me, there's a cool intellectual side to this shit, but there's some hood shit going on.
It's been, 24 hours now since you've been on Clubhouse? Like, how...
Well, let's
have you been on for 24 hours?
Let's be real. Shout out to Bryon. We call him the innovator, the explorer. Bryon says, yo, there's this app, it's cool. Dayo, blah 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 blah. He said, James loves it. I was like, oh shit, like what? What is the app James loves right now? I mean, my guy is killing it on IG. He said it's a social conversation platform, where people can do this and that. And I said, okay, bet. Let's see what he's talking about. 24 hours later, like the damn SpongeBob clock, I've been on this thing for 12 hours, out of 24-hour days sporadically. And I think it's refreshing, right? From a social standpoint for me. I'm not able to be in these as big rooms where you're, able to speak dynamically and have people listen, and, you're able to listen in the same vein where you're able to contribute and also gain some knowledge, also gain some friendships and relationships. It's like being at a day party and looking across a room and somebody dancing with you. Right, and you're like, yo, did we just become best friends? So yeah, thank you, Bryon. Thank you, Bryon.
Hey man, look. I just see things and I'm like, yo, y'all should be here.
Oh God,
should be here, man. Look, and James will tell you again, like, man, like we're in this social distance era. Like some things are ahead of their time, some things are before their time, and then they just come back and they're just right on time, But like right now, we can't be around each other. We can't be in those rooms. Yeah. It's funny that analogy you mentioned, because I was thinking just the way that the app is set up, it looks like you're in like the cafeteria. And you're walking past a bunch of these like lunch tables, and it's like, oh, that's the athlete table, oh, that's the ratchet table, oh, that's the nerds, or whatever, and you can just sit down at any table basically and talk. That's the seat of the table, but it's so cool that it's just like stripped down, that you don't have to You just don't get a chance to like share images the same way you would on Instagram. So it's just like the bare bones of it allows you to do so much.
But the cool thing is it forces you to listen and like actively listen. And then of course it forces you to engage and share. So the thing about the app is there are people that thrive off of interaction with other people. You have your natural outgoing people, and when they can't be in their element, sometimes you notice the difference, like, yo, what's wrong? And you may not always be able to put a finger on it until you see them in their element and they liven up. And you're like, oh, that's what you were missing. You were missing that personal engagement. And I think that's what's so intriguing and alluring about the app, is that you are creating something where it's not about photos. It's not about anything else other than the actual, for one, like the talking with someone, speaking with someone, listening to them, and then also you sharing that conversation. So you're more concerned about dialogue. And like we said, it's like an interactive podcast. Podcast you just listen, but here you get to actively engage with people, and the networking, from day one. I think I've been on it for 4 days, and every day I realize I'm like, I've been on it for 4 hours already. So it's like, yeah. But it's cool, man. I'm telling you, as soon as it goes public, I want to invest.
Oh yeah, listen, bro. I mean, yo, Bryon, I was in there today in some group. Hey, James, this is one of the coolest feelings. One of the coolest feelings is where somebody's in the room, you don't know that they're in there, and they just vouch for you. Like, oh yeah, XYZ, that's that, the XYZ. Or, you have somebody that goes, hey, I know your man Bryon out of Jersey. I'd listen to you brothers all the time on Shooting with Shooters. So, Clubhouse is an amazing app. I rock with it. You feel like you're in a space where you're just talking to new homies and old homies. But you know where else I feel like I'm in my own personal Clubhouse? And that's when I'm talking to you brothers here, man. I am Dayo Kosoko, 1/3 of Shooting with Shooters, content creator, photographer, and it's great to see you guys again.
I'm Bryon Summers, photographer and content creator, 1/3 of Shooting with Shooters.
And I'm James Anthony, the other third of Shooting with Shooters. Let's get the show started.
Over this past couple of days, I've been thinking about a few things. And one of the things that has come to mind, and I wanted to ask you guys as photographers, did you intentionally start on the career path that you're on right now? Because a lot is going on, in the world. And follow me, I'm gonna go somewhere with this, right? But for now, did you start on the path that you're on right now?
No, I definitely didn't think I'd be here. I didn't think I'd be a photographer, especially being a photographer with a network of other photographers who were friends from high school. I don't think any of us foresaw that, So when we did link up, I think that's another reason why we were compelled to keep in contact, just because it's like, yo, I'm a photographer. My boy's a photographer. My other boy's a photographer. Yeah. So we keep in contact. We grow together, and we make money together. We break bread together. So I think those are the moments where you kind of take a step back and like, I would have never in a million years would have thought that we'd be seeing billboards of our work. We never would have thought that we'd have partnerships with liquor brands and putting on exhibits and having our work in neighborhoods that we grew up in. Like, that's crazy. So I feel like it's like every gig that we get, every accomplishment that we have, it's always a surreal moment. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, I'm happy. I know I've been working toward it, but I would have never in a million years would have guessed I would have been a photographer.
Yo, James, I love the way you explained that, man. And I have to agree with them, Bryon. I feel like there's no way we could have planned for this. I mean, when I was younger, I had aspirations to be a physician. I come from a family of physicians. I got into college pre-med, I thought I was going to be in the health sciences. I never thought there's something I literally just enjoyed just doing, just capturing. I never thought it would be able to sustain my life and give me like recognition and stuff like that, and have me connect with people, have me learning, have me trying to inspire. I never thought I'd have a studio. Like, this is honestly we're in an industry where the gift keeps on giving. I say that to say that, with every gig, with every opportunity, with every connection, it leads to something else. It always leads to something else. And I've never seen anything like that. I mean, it's like the equivalent of going up the hierarchy at your job, trying to be assistant manager, then supervisor, then, director. It's like that literally happens as the gigs and the process continues. So, nah, man, I would never imagine it. But now in my life, I would never have had it any other way. It's the most comfortable I've ever been making money, like, in my life. Like, I feel happy going to work. I feel at ease. There's an element of work stress that I innately felt as a 9-to-5er, Yeah. And I just don't feel that anymore. And it's very refreshing, man. Y'all know what's up, man.
Yeah. It's crazy because, like, I feel like for me, so I have an older brother and, 7 years older than me. He, could see things that he went through and just forecast, okay, you have, a knack for drawing and you're in 8th grade. It's 4 years in high school, focus on art. You already love it. Just focus on art. And, that 4 years in high school that your focus is the same time that you'll be in college trying to find your focus, like a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
So I felt like I did know what I wanted to do, in high school, but it was still like a little bit of this, a little bit of that, fashion design, interior design, graphic design, all that stuff. I got all of that. And then even going to college, it was fine arts and stuff like that, but still I didn't think that I would just be, or I didn't think I was going to narrow down to try to be a photographer. I was trying to be a graphic designer and all these different things. And, through that, I had different jobs and, I bounced from being a graphic designer at a Fortune 500 company, to being actually I was sneaking product for, well, not sneaking, they asked me to do it, but they would have me, actually it was probably, I should have gotten paid money for that. Basically, they had a little upstairs area where you can take product shots. We had people that we would hire for that, but if they had like a couple of different odd items, they would say, "Yo, Bryon, can you shoot these upstairs real quick?" So again, like that was a gateway into photography. But these are all steps that I guess I took, whether it was intentional or not, to get me to the photographer, content creator. Still hands in different pots and trying to point and connect people that I see doing different things in the right areas. But what made me ask this question is that this past week, at the time of this recording, this past week, we just went through an election. Technically, it's not done, but we know how it should end, with Joe Biden being the president. So President-elect Joe Biden, right? But this show really isn't about politics, it's about photography. So something that we might know from the last presidency, the Obama administration, we might know Pete Souza as a photographer, right? And as a kid, I thought that, it would be cool to be the presidential photographer. I didn't even know what that title was. I just thought, you're the president's photographer. I thought I was just one photographer that follows the president around every day for 4 years or 8 and just captures these shots. So, again, like I might have these goals as a kid, and it was common for me to say one thing, oh, I want to do this, and never know that I might actually achieve it, right? Or get close to it. So, Dayo, you and I had opportunity to actually photograph.
Dude, are you kidding me, Bryon? Yo, y'all, let me tell y'all something. And I've said this before on the podcast, if there's one thing I'm forever gonna be grateful to Bryon for, is affording me the opportunity to take a portrait of President Barack Hussein Obama, being in the same room with Barack Obama as he walked out into the stage and capturing an iconic picture of him that I'm gonna be able to tell my boys about. Like, like, dude, like your dad took a picture of the first black president. Good looks, man.
And like James, you gave us the opportunity to photograph at the National Museum of African American History and Culture. Like these are all things that are in line, I think, now looking back, to getting you these government contract gigs and whatnot. Whether that's doing State of the Young People at Facebook, something like that, like resume patterns, or being a photojournalist. I went down a rabbit hole just trying to find out, like, what does it take to be the president's photographer, or if you even want to be that. I mean, I don't know.
Well, not with the current administration.
Yeah.
But they out the know soon, so.
Yeah. So
resume coming soon. Holla at me, Biden. Holla.
so just doing some research. Again, just some quick fun research. That position is the chief official White House photographer, right? And that position started in 1961 as the official White House photographer. 1969, it changed to the official photographer of the president. 1981, it changed to the chief official White House photographer.
Wow.
Just looking at, like, again, the pedigree of this photographer, like the past presidential photographers have been government photographers, like contracted by government agencies to photograph, war photographers, like photojournalists. I believe Pete Souza was a war photographer.
Wow.
So he's over in the Middle East capturing shots of brave soldiers. This dude is brave.
He earned his stripes, bro.
Right.
You're out there with a long camera. You're out there with them.
That's crazy, man.
So, but like these are things, and like I said, I wanted to get your guys' opinion on, like I know you just said you never thought that you would be, photographing at this level, but now that you're here, does this seem like something that's obtainable to you, or something even interesting?
Honestly, Bryon and James, dude, I think, and I think you guys might agree with me. I feel like because of where we are now, anything is possible. Anything is possible, KG. Like anything is possible because, dude, and James is obviously not even starstruck anymore. There's no way he can be. I mean, I guess with some people, I guess you say you have a certain affinity for. But I've been around people who I used to look at like they weren't even real.
Yeah.
And so I feel like ideas or places or positions that I never even conceived are possible. They're just right around the corner.
Yeah, to co-sign with that, I definitely feel some of the people that I've shot, probably maybe after the second or third time where you get to shoot like a childhood idol, that's when the wall, you feel that mental wall is broken and you feel like, yo, I can shoot anybody, like anybody. We all think about, for me, Barack Obama, Beyonce, Oprah Winfrey. Those are the three I want. And when I say shoot them, I want to shoot them and I want to collaborate on a James Shoots and Draws, like something that's contiguous to me, where it's like I can say I shot them in collaboration with something that I created. And I think that is something that would be a milestone for me. I'd be forever grateful. But I feel like it's a matter of time because when you break it down, we're all a matter of 1 to 2 degrees of separation between all these people now. So it's a matter of time.
Yeah. If anybody watching, like thinking, okay, obviously we have we've had some great firsts in the past 10 years, with the first Black president, the first woman in the White House. The official title of Vice President-elect Harris is what? She's like,
isn't it vice president incumbent or something like that?
No,
not incumbent.
Like you have like POTUS is president of the United States, right?
Yeah.
FLOTUS first lady.
Yeah.
But is there that for like the VP?
Oh, a phrase? VPOTUS? Yeah. I don't know. I don't think so, bro.
Acronym for it. VPOTUS.
VPO.
I think that actually is it, to be honest.
Yeah,
if it's not, we heard it here. You heard it here first. Here first, folks.
Coin and VPO. No, but yo, I would be able. I know Barack Obama is probably like the most photographed president. I could just guess. I'm just guessing just because it's like an anomaly, right?
I mean, out of all of them, he's the most celebrity. Out of all presidents that we've had, he's the most of a celebrity.
Yeah.
So, and he's gonna always. I mean, he's the first of his kind. He's the first Black president, and Vice President-elect will be a celebrity in her own right as well, just because she's the first.
Oh,
she's got so many.
But also, you got to think again. They're celebrities also because they got sauce. Like we were naturally drawn to them because they're Black. And I know it sounds crazy, but she's an AKA. You know what I'm saying? Like, how many times do you see a vice president dancing on stage or strolling on stage? It's because of the flavor. And clearly we know that hip hop, the world is attracted to Black culture.
Let's go, James. Let's go.
So when you have the president who'll get up on stage and sing an Al Green song, and you have the vice president-elect who gets on stage and does a little stroll, it's like they will forever become famous because of that, even after they're out of office.
I will challenge you, James. I will challenge you. Sorry to cut you off with Kamala Harris. I think she represents additionally the new age blended family.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
You know, her husband is a white man. Her children are like teenage, almost to adult white children, and they call her Mamala. You know what I mean, or Mamala. You know, she shows how she can have a relationship with her stepkids, like that's who aren't even of the same race, but they make it happen. And I don't know what this dude is gonna do. The first opposite member, like her husband, that's a first. What do they call him? The second man, or what is it?
I think
second gentleman.
Gentleman.
The second gentleman. This is hard. Like that's gonna be dope too, because you know, and ironically, we look for that individual who's a partner to the leadership to have their own things going on where they're giving back and doing that. Is he gonna be that guy, or is he just gonna be a dad?
You never know. Just because I feel like sometimes when it's forced, like with Melania, it just feels like. Again, Melania just feels like she's a robot from the Jetsons or something. You know, she's like, I believe that we should all do good. And then we're like, yo, blink, please. You know, there's somebody in there. You expect the Men in Black, like for her face to open.
Or don't cry. Please don't cry. You might rust up. A team. Thanks, guys.
Shout out to the Wiz.
Right.
No, but I think VP. I think VP Harris is going to be the most photographed presidential figure. You know,
more than Obama.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't think
I think she'll be photographed more than Obama because one, I mean, not to get too. This isn't political. This is just strategizing.
Preface. Hey, Bryan, everybody just put your hands up. Listen, this is not political. We're just having a dialogue. We're just having a dialogue about photography.
Yeah, because look, and to be honest, this is strictly off of like visuals, right? So Joe Biden's old, right? So are all the presidents, right? But Joe Biden looks old.
Yeah.
So they want somebody that looks good, somebody that could, speak for him. Somebody that she's a lawyer, bro. Like she has no problem doing that. So I think that's what we're going to see. You're hiding guys like Pence and Dick Cheney. You didn't really hide Joe Biden like that, but he wasn't, there. He's just like, I got your back, Barry. If I got to follow up, that's basically Biden's role, right? But now it's switched to Kamala. But again, she's a first. She's an anomaly. So I think she's gonna be everywhere once the world opens back up. And then
she will be everywhere.
Yeah, she's a unicorn, man. They're gonna.
She's more. I mean, call it how it is. She's more enjoyable on the eyes. So it's like when you see her, as soon as she gets in office, she's gonna get a team. She's always gonna be fresh, just like Michelle Obama. When she first got in office, she had she had a stylist, of course. But then every year, then her hair got better.
Michelle stopped playing with them, bro. The outfits started going nuts. He's like, yo, I'm every woman. Like Kamala is gonna get that same energy. She's gonna be on it.
She's gonna get some AKs in there, and they're gonna.
I know Howard is turned up for her, bro.
They don't cut up.
That's like, and as a Greek letter organization member, as all of us are, how much more pride could you have? Like if Barack was an alpha, bruh, get out of here.
Speaking of which, can we do a quick interlude and wish Bryon Summers and his organization a happy Founders Day?
Yeah, happy Founders Day.
Hey, thank you, man.
That's probably.
At the time, it's a belated, but I appreciate it.
I tried to celebrate your Founders Day with the official Sums brand T-shirt.
Cheers.
Fire, man. Check out the back as well on his website.
Cheers. Cool. Everything adds up. I appreciate that. Hey, shout out to the dojo while I'm at it.
Hey, shout out to BBC because they did sponsor us on one of our.
Hey, hold up. I ain't get. Hold on, James. I ain't get that hoodie. I ain't get that hoodie.
Selection. You had to see. We all had two.
Yo.
So wait, real quick, fellas. We talked about how we would not be taking pictures in the Trump administration. Is that immediately changing now?
Immediately changing meaning like
with the new regime coming in.
Oh, of course.
I would definitely do it.
Of course. So
I have some friends that served as Joe Biden's head assistant when he was in office under the Obama administration. So I'm not sure if those same people are going to be in office this time, but if I had the opportunity to shoot anybody in that administration, I'd be for it. You know, when you were initially tied to a progressive administration, how could you be against that? You know, we're all liberals, we're all progressive in our own right. So I'm not for the divisiveness that the Trump administration stands for. So I didn't want any part of that. Just kind of like how Chrisette Michelle is just now peeking her head out from underground, you know, from something she did 4 years ago because the nation literally put her in a Tupperware box and let her get all the spaghetti stains on her soul.
She like, hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all.
I'm still here. I'm still healing. So yeah, it's I don't think a lot of people wanted to be tied to that. And then it's almost like every photo you see of Trump, it looks like it's a Sunday morning cartoon. You know what I'm saying? Like exactly. So yeah, I wouldn't have had any enjoyment.
He's made for TV, bro. Like one way or another. So James, so now that you mentioned that, let me go and tell you this. You know, in the last administration, again, we didn't really see a lot of photos, or we didn't really connect with them a lot. You know, at least they were really like sterile. You know, like you said, everything looked like a political cartoon. We all know Pete Souza right now, but Sheila Craighead is the actual photographer for the Trump administration. And just like, again, her pedigree, she was a government photographer. She photographed like weddings of government officials and stuff like that. So she was, I'm pretty sure that network and, her photos got her, to that situation. But again, Pete Souza was Obama's. Before Obama was George Bush, was Eric Draper. Eric Draper was the first Black man to be the chief official White House photographer. But before him was Sharon Farmer. She was the first Black director of White House photography. She's the first Black photographer and the first woman. And she's a Delta. So that's a little icing on the cake for that.
Just to let you guys know, we spit facts here. We spit facts. I hope you enjoyed that lesson just now.
Yeah. Here's like a real interesting fact too, because so Clinton had two photographers. He had two administrations. Normally you would expect somebody to have one photographer for 8 years. Clinton had two. The first guy, Bob McNeely, he kind of I don't know what the details are, but Clinton had the
he took the wrong pick, man. He took the wrong pick.
That's
man.
That job would be stressful as hell, y'all. Let's be real too.
Delete those, bro.
They talking about. Imagine when he meets the leader of Russia and you miss the shot, or it's not crispy. Oh my gosh, what?
Yeah, exactly. You talk about stress. That's like shooting a wedding every day. Like you have to capture that money shot every day. Damn. So when you miss, it's a lot of pressure. I'm curious to know what type of are they on call? Like how does that even work?
So
yeah. And did you find out a salary too, Bryon?
No, I didn't find out that. I was just looking for names, but I used to think it was just one. Like, all right, where's Pete? I'm about to shoot this three. I imagine that's what.
Wait. Does that mean he's like he lives at the White House and they just tagged his room or text him like, yo?
He's like right next door, or they're like in bunk heads or something. It was like, hey man, I gotta do this thing today. I need you there. But I would assume that the title is the chief official White House photographer, right? So naturally you would have a staff, but like you just got to get all the good gigs. It's like you have a staff of maybe like 4 photographers. That's basically how it goes. I think 4 main photographers and trickle down from there. But these are the guys that get like the actual money shots. So there have been 11 photographers since its creation, that position of chief official White House photographer. And every president since Kennedy has had a photographer except for Jimmy Carter. And Jimmy Carter offered the job to Stanley Tredick, right? But he turned it down because he said he didn't feel the president wanted an intimate photographer around him. As a result, Carter didn't have a personal photographer. So
what, for 4 years? So he wanted one dude He couldn't get that's loyalty. He wanted one dude, he couldn't get the guy, and he said, all right, forget it. For 4 years.
Yeah.
So
Essentially,
what? He
No,
just
it was no official guy, but
okay.
it came
So
back.
they might. So they just hired. They had consultants. They had
Yeah, I guess they just had like AP News.
Interesting.
Like whoever was like the major news outlet was it. Or I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a photographer.
I was hoping
it's not like the guy just for this department or something.
I was hoping to hear that it was the guy saying, you know what, I don't want to be your official guy because I don't really rock with you. Like that's the beast right there.
Yeah. But there's always somebody on the opposite side. I feel like, you know, even if one guy don't rock with you, it's somebody else that's going to.
Now with the result of the elections, projected President-elect Biden and Kamala Harris are victors. So there was some victory celebrations, and there was also some conspiracy celebration protest, or not celebration, conspiracy protests on behalf of Trump and that party. Were you guys out there to capture any of those moments going on?
Yeah, you know, as you guys know, I live downtown Los Angeles, so it was like an unofficial parade out there, and you know, people celebrating flags. You had people on the back of pickup trucks, megaphones, just yelling, and it was, you know, good riddance, we getting rid of a bully, you know. So there were definitely cheers out there. I did, of course, have my camera. I got a couple of shots, as you see, and it was, you know, it's just cool living downtown in these moments that we're living through. And you know, on social media, you'll hear people like, "Yo, I'm tired of living through these historic events because they're so emotionally draining." But in a situation like that, it was a sense of relief. It was a sense of excitement, but it was also a sense of just like surreal disappointment, just because the fact that we were so happy is because we were shown what we look like under the sheepskin. And it's like, why would we be that happy that a president is no longer, unless he was a president that just showed the ugly side of, you know, what the country was founded on. So I think in those moments, I felt like I was watching the news of another country celebrating a dictator being taken down. So in those moments, I'm just like, man, it's cool to be a documentarian and to be a photojournalist in that sense, to capture the moments. But yeah, man, it's always cool just to be on a pulse. But I wish we didn't have to be that happy, you know?
You know, it's interesting. You know, you guys know I went out to the BLM Plaza during the protests for George Floyd and the murders that occurred during the quarantine. But with the celebrations that were happening around DC and, you know, stuff that was happening by the White House, bro, I was not going there. I was not traveling out there to be in that mess. Mind you, these are crazy times. COVID is at an all-time high. Let me timestamp that into this video. COVID is at an all-time high. I saw a video on CNN talking about this kid is turning 5-year-olds, but both his parents died of COVID. Some 5-year-old kid. And I was just like, damn, you know, there's this thing that's just out here just grabbing people up. And, you know, it's very scary. We do the best we can to like avoid it and, you know, not think about it because we're trying to get some remnants of life. But it's been a year almost, and stuff doesn't look like it's changing anytime soon. So
it'll be longer than that,
bruh. So, you know,
so Dayo, what made you apprehensive initially? You were apprehensive about going out to protest.
Yeah,
and you ended up going out there to capture people out there protesting.
Yeah.
What was different about you going out there during a tense time and not wanting to go out there during a celebratory moment?
During the tense time, I felt like I had to. During the celebratory time, I feel like I didn't even need to be there celebrate. Like, there's nothing as celebratory as about what this is that I need to go. I need to go there to travel and park and catch people just being excited.
When I feel you, just because, like I said, it was a lot easier for me. I didn't have to do anything, just walk outside. So yeah.
Exactly. Oh, dude, of course. But mind you, listen, bro. During the inauguration, I'm probably going to try to be there. That's a changing point in human history. Get the 7,200, and I'll be way back here.
I don't even think they're going to have. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if it's not like a virtual joint. You know, yeah.
But even if they don't have the large mass gathering like we're used to, there's still going to be several mass gatherings just out of celebratory, just in the middle of the street, neighborhoods, just parties. It's going to be like a block party across all of America for real. So, well, I won't say all of America, not those red states. Yeah, it'll. I think those moments are worth capturing too. Again, Dai, when you and I went to the Smithsonian to see photographers' work that capture these pivotal moments, it's pretty amazing. And the fact that we have a name for ourselves and we have connections in the industry, it would make it that much easier to get our work in front of someone. I know I have a friend who, Shearston Westby, who was an editor on my short film, The Crossroads. She hit me up and she's working on a documentary. And she asked me, she said, "Hey, James, I really wanted to use some of your photos from the protests in the show. And I would love to use them." So, of course, I sent them to her. And again, it's immortalizing my work during a time of turmoil. So I'm always grateful for the connections that we make as photographers in, at this point in our careers. So when something like this happens, that's even more of a drive for me to go out there and kind of solidify the legacy that we always talk about. We want us, our careers to lead. And I think that's the fun part of doing what we do. You either create moments of legacy during moments of turmoil or moments of celebration, or just moments of, somebody's opening for a show and your work is attached to that. So I just like dibbling and dabbling in the marketing side as far as photojournalism, but then also having fun with the entertainment side. So that's why I'm always rushing out there, because I truly do enjoy being a photographer.
I was thinking about this as you were answering. Like what would I like to see change? Like we got things changing in in the administration. Yeah, I mentioned the different firsts that we've had. The different firsts that we've had as presidents and presidential photographers, right? But I think it would be cool to see like somebody like not excluding ourselves, obviously, but somebody, like a Devin Allen, who's known now, obviously, for, covering the uprising in Baltimore after Freddie Gray, having that Time magazine cover, like having that like raw style. I don't know if I would want that for like the whole, 4 years or 8 years,
Right.
That's why I'm like, maybe the chief has to have like, okay, I'm gonna have 4 different styles that be captured like, consistently or something like that. But somebody like a Devin Allen that's a street style photographer, or like a Andre Wagner, Photo Dre on Instagram, somebody like that, like capturing all the time. I think that would be a nice change of it all. But it also kind of like matches, like you said, like the turmoil that's kind of going on. It's gritty, it's raw. It's like we need to see this. So ultimately, guys, my question is this: would you rather be the full-time chief official White House photographer and get every shot every day for 4 years or 8, or would you rather get those specialized shots that might end up in like the National Portrait Gallery?
But see, I feel like some of the day-to-day shots can end up in the National Portrait Gallery as well. And to be honest, if you're doing either for 4 years, you're going to be eternalized. But if you're capturing the day-to-day, you're also building a relationship with one of the most strongest and powerful people in the world. And I think there's something about that, as well as, seeing where all the bodies are buried, because you're going to be in all the rooms.
I don't necessarily, I think on this journey of being a photographer, being freelance, I really love being freelance as far as project based. But when you're under contract for 4 years, and you know you get that feeling of like that we need you here by 8 a.m. or well you talking about government, so we need you here by 7 a.m. I'm like, I'm good on that. Like I said, I'd rather do the special events and just capture special moments, but day in, day out for 4 years, I think I'd pass.
Yeah.
Because my thing is, I still want to enjoy what I do, and I don't ever want to feel like, gotta go to work. You know, like even right now, it's midnight past where y'all are. You know what I'm saying? But we're doing this because we love it.
It's 1:30 a.m.
Exactly. I don't necessarily know that I would be excited to go to work every day and shoot. No, I'm good.
No, the itch. You just want to get out, and I'm like, I can see you like, you know, shooting for like a year, like, let me go over to Asia, get some.
Yeah, even a year. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't know what type of perks they get, just because you do get to travel. So
you get to see the world.
Yeah, exactly. So that aspect may just be like, all right, well, it's not. You know what? The traveling aspect, the privilege, just
you get to be on Air Force One.
You say it again?
You get to be on Air Force One.
Yeah, Air Force One, the privilege that you get, just because if he gets in a room, you're in that room. You know, that red carpet is rolled out for you just by any circumstance. But I think that aspect would be cool. But the obligation and the duty of that day in, day out for 4 years, I think it's the commitment for me.
How much would it piss you off being a photographer at that level, shooting, you know, capturing photos of like world leaders, and then somebody in that room full of world leaders is like, photographer, hey, photographer, get this shot.
Right.
How crushes your ego because you're called photographer now instead of
and that's when you start feeling like help.
It's like, I'm out.
You know, but see, the cool thing is if you have a stand-up, I know Barack was not letting people disrespect Pete. You know, he's probably like, yo, call him by his name. He has a name. So it depends on the person you work with. So it's like any job can be enjoyable or not enjoyable depending on your boss. And I feel like that would be the biggest determining factor, where it's like, all right, I like it because I like my boss, or I like the employees, I like my job. You know, because how many of us leave a job that we hate because it's the work that we hate, but we actually miss the people that were there. So if you're doing something that you love and you genuinely enjoy the environment in which you're working, that motivates you to wake up every day and pull out your camera and come back, you know, week after week. So it really just depends on who's the upper head.
Indeed. I think on that note, I would definitely prefer to be the standalone photographer. You come to my studio when you want to get that time cover.
Yep. That's all I want to do.
Yeah. But fellas, man, this has been another amazing episode. It's always a pleasure to talk with you, brothers. For all the listeners, please continue to take pictures safely with friends, family, and as Thanksgiving and the holidays start rolling around, enjoy yourself and capture these memories. This is the first time we'll ever see the holidays like this. So capture these memories so that 50 years down the line, they will know that old grandpa survived 2020.
That's real.
Yeah, my name is Dayo Kosoko, 1/3 of Shooting with Shooters.
I'm Bryon Summers.
I'm James Anthony.
And this is Shooting with Shooters. Thank you guys for joining us. Peace.
Make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, and share with your friends. We out.